Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Noelle and I review and unbox subscription boxes here on my channel, and today I have a book subscription that has been sent to me for review. It is a long-awaited box from Authentic Books and it is the premium experience, but this is the December box because since they got a brick and mortar shop, they have just been really behind, let's be honest. So I received this December box in March, but in an effort to get caught up on my end, I went ahead and read the book that was included, which I did really enjoy, as well as the curation. But let me just go ahead and give you the rundown on Authentic Books. I don't want their delays to hinder you from considering getting boxes from them, because I do still believe they are going to get caught up, and we are still planning on using Authentic Books on a quarterly basis for our book club that we run through the Noel, which is our private Facebook group. We have not gotten around to our first selection, which was a February book quite yet, but I have been talking to Natisha and it sounds like she's going to try to get our boxes out as soon as possible, and I do believe that by the end of the year she should be caught up, we should be caught up, and we will have read our 4 books from Authentic Books options. Now, one of the reasons that we love this subscription is because there are always 3 different books to choose from every single month, and that just makes it a little bit more fun in terms of choosing a book for a book club, but also for your own personal reading. There are also 2 different box sizes. There is now the full and the premium. Now, I did take a quick look at the guide, the product pamphlet that was included in this December box, and they still do list the mini experience. So I think that might have changed with the new year, because I am still seeing the mini as an option. But when you subscribe on the website, I don't think that that is still an option. I think it's just the full and the premium. But let me give you the rundown on the prices. Do remember that you can save 10% if you use my code, which is Noel10. I'll leave all of that information for you in the description box below. But the full box is $56.99 plus just $5 in shipping. With that, you of course get your book, as well as a candle that is created by Authentic Books specifically for that book. It kind of has the same theme. Sometimes the author even has some input. So sense of sight right there with the book, sense of smell with your candle. You also get a coffee, tea, or cocktail mixer. So that is for taste, of course, and you get to choose which of those you like. I usually go with the cocktail because it goes with the recipe that is included, along with the food recipe that is always inspired by the book as well. And then there are 2 touch items in the full boxes. So in the mini, there was just 1 touch item. And then there's lots of what they call enhancers now, which is like the tasseled bookmark. Sometimes there is a signed book plate. And of course, they always have that element of give back, where they do give 5% of your membership to the Adopt a Classroom Foundation. So there is some impact. There's also a Spotify playlist. Sometimes it's on a separate card. Sometimes it is included in the booklet, as it was for this month. But here's our cocktail. Here is our book recipe, which was beef empanadas for this one, which I was pretty excited about. Empanadas are something that I absolutely love, but I've never taken the time to make them myself. Now, like I said, that was the full box that I gave you the rundown on. The premium experience, which is what I have to share with you, is just a little bit more. It's just $66.99. So if you can splurge for it, I know it's kind of getting expensive, but these are new releases. So, you know, half the cost of the box is really the book usually. But in addition to everything that you get in the full box, you're also going to get 3 touch items. So an extra touch item and an extra taste item, because there's always a premium chocolate of some sort. And I have to say, I was kind of interested in the chocolate in this box because it's a little bit different than our usual artisan chocolate bar. So this is what my box looked like this time. Sometimes she has a beautiful printed box. I'm hoping she gets back to that, but at this point I just wanted the box in my hot little hands, so I don't mind that they just went with the label, but maybe that is a way that they are cutting costs. Because I'm sure there's lots of costs going on right now because they're trying to get caught up and also having that store. And I know that she is trying to get more help in terms of expanding her team so that she can stay on top of everything. So this time around, this is rare. We actually got a paperback instead of the hardcovers that I'm so used to, but it is a beautiful image on the cover of this book called Familia. So I will read the blurb on the back for you. It's still a value of $17.95. I don't believe that we had a signed book plate this time around. Sometimes we do get them, but again, I think she was just trying to get these out the door. And I think this may have been one of the boxes where some of the books arrived damaged, so she had to get replacements from the publisher. So some of the delays are not just on Natisha and Authentic Books' part. So here is our beautiful glossy tasseled bookmark that goes along, and I always think they do a really nice job of making it very complimentary with the title itself. It says, "Facts are what can be proven. Truth is what you choose to believe, with or without the facts to back it up." So very, very true. And then, like I did show you already, the booklet inside, they tell you all about the items inside, some of the inspiration. Once upon a time, we used to have page numbers that would go with it, but sometimes now I'll go ahead and open up the box because nothing's wrapped or anything, and then I'll kind of be looking at the text and seeing some of the inspiration for the items in the box as we go along. So I actually thought this was a pretty solid curation. And like I said, we do have kind of a key at the bottom where it will tell you, obviously, you know, that the book was included in the mini, full, and premium boxes. Again, I don't think that there is a mini option anymore. Then we had our cocktail and story eats, and then she does usually do a meet the makers sort of highlight as well as an editor's note. But I'm going to just keep this propped open to the products themselves for you. And let me go ahead and read that blurb like I said. So it says, "What if your most basic beliefs about your life were suddenly revealed to be a lie? In this compelling, emotional novel, two young women are brought together by a genealogy test and a haunting question that shakes their understanding of what family is and who they truly are." Sorry, that font was like really hard to read. It says, "As the fact checker for a popular magazine, Gabby DeMarco believes in absolute, verifiable truths with a capital T, until they throw the facts of her own life into question. The genealogy test she took as research for an article has yielded a baffling result. Gabby has a sister, one who's been desperately trying to find her. Except, as Gabby's beloved parents would confirm if they were still alive, that's impossible. Isabella Ruiz can still picture the face of her baby sister who disappeared from the streets of San Juan 25 years ago. Isabella, an artist, has fought hard for the stable home and loving marriage she has today, yet the longing to find Mariana has never left. At last, she's found a match, and Gabby has agreed to come to Puerto Rico. But Gabby, as defensive and cautious as Isabella is impulsive, offers no happy reunion. She insists there's been a mistake, and Isabella realizes that even if this woman is her sister, she may not want to be. With nothing, or perhaps so much in common, Gabby and Isabella set out to find the truth, though it means risking everything they've known for an uncertain future, and a past that harbors yet more surprises." So, of course, Gabby goes to meet Isabella and prove that they are not actually sisters, but she figures maybe she'll get a good story out of it, right? Good reporting instinct there. And so they go ahead and take another DNA test, but of course, because they are in Puerto Rico, it's going to take a few days, and so they have to get to know each other and sort of find the cause for this confusion over the next, I think it's over like 5 days. And of course, there are some mysteries and some twists and some turns, and we learn about the lives of these two women, and you know, they are more sisters, I think, in just not necessarily the way they look, but in the way they think and the way they act a little bit. So it is an interesting book. I enjoyed it quite a bit, even though I don't necessarily know a lot about the culture of Puerto Rico. I thought the differing perspectives that were in the novel, like not just the two women, but other characters as well, was really interesting. So let's just go through and see what the items were that were included. Apologize about the sirens, you guys. It's always a little atmospheric. You know that I'm filming in my home, and I do live in an urban environment. So we always get an Authentic Books poured candle. It says it's about to get literary. So it says this is, of course, for the sense of smell. And of course, that Spotify playlist is for the sense of sound, if you were wondering where that was missing from. So it says, "To the Truth" is, of course, the name of this candle. Beautiful, and you can see the label is inspired by the cover of the book. It was inspired by salty sea air and juicy mango and coconut. That sounds like a scent that I'm really gonna like. It says our candles are always hand stirred and poured in the Authentic Books studio using non-toxic ingredients. Sometimes there's some embellishments on top. Lately, not so much. I will say I'm very happy to see that this candle did not come as melted as some of the last ones that I've gotten. So we just have to get caught up. Obviously, we are hoping to get our February boxes sooner than later. We were planning on, you know, maybe reading in April. I don't know if that will happen, but at this point, I would be happy to get my February box before my January box, just so we could get our book club rolling. But you guys, this smells so good. It really smells like mango and not too hard on the coconut. I almost thought it had like a pina colada vibe, honestly, but Maybe that's just because I have pina colada on the brain, because I did see that that was our drink recipe this time around. So pina colada with a beef empanada sounds amazing. So for taste number 1, again, you could choose to have tea, coffee, or a cocktail mix. Now this was an interesting choice this time around because the coffee always comes from Sunday mornings, and I'm not sure what the flavor would have been this time around. Maybe it was like, I don't know if you could have like a mango coffee. I'm sure you could. But the tea, instead of being a loose leaf tea or bagged tea this time, it actually was like a sparkling green tea that came in a can, which I don't know if I would be like super into that as a tea drinker, but as someone who enjoys a cocktail, I think it might be a really good mixer. And then this time around for our cocktail mix, instead of a syrup, which is what we often get, we actually wound up with this Wine-A-Rita Pina Colada mix. Now, this is something that I've gotten in other subscription box before. It usually makes a pretty big pitcher. You can do it with wine. You can do it, obviously, with rum, traditional Pina Colada spirit, but you can also do a non-alcoholic version, which is always a nice option as well. And I do think that's nice with the cocktail mixers that we get, because she's not actually sending you the booze, that we do have the option of doing a non-alcoholic version. I will say that I have tried these mixes before, and I find them a little bit sweet, a little bit intense. So I usually like to sort of increase the amount of other mixed like liquid that goes in them, because I do find them to have, it says they're naturally flavored, but to me it still has that sort of artificial drink mix flavor somehow, even though I do think it's great. The women that are behind this company, I think it's awesome. But for me, I just have to dilute it a little bit more than what the instructions say. Maybe it would be different if I actually did a frozen variation where I blended it up and there was a little bit more ice in there, but just that's my personal experience from that particular mixer. So I do prefer, I think, getting the syrups, but in this case, I almost wish we had gotten the tea as our mixer. That would have been fun. So, but of course, I do like all the mango stuff. Sorry guys, I have to take some sips so that I don't, like, my throat gets a little itchy still when I'm like talking for a long time. I don't usually talk for like 20 minutes at a time in my daily life. All right, so that was taste number 1 that would be in the full and premium boxes. And then we also have taste number 2, which is our chocolate usually, which is only in the premium boxes. This time around, like I said, instead of a chocolate bar, at first I was like disappointed until I saw where these cookies are from. So yes, indeed, we got 2 wrapped cookies. They are banana pudding chocolate chunk cookies from Magnolia Bakery. So these are fancy. Now, normally I am not a banana person. Like, I'll eat them, but it's not like my favorite flavor, even if it's like in a banana cream pudding pie. But Magnolia Bakery is one of the places where I make an exception. They have this amazing banana cream pudding that you just eat like out of an ice cream container, which I actually experienced from the original location in New York. And ever since then, it's like, it is so, so good, you guys. It is so amazing. I've even sent the containers to friends for their birthdays because it is so delicious. I've never actually had the cookie, and I'm not usually a packaged cookie fan, but I bet these are gonna be really good. So it says, Magnolia Bakery's chocolate chunk banana pudding cookies introduce real chocolate chunks into 4 individually wrapped, soft-baked banana pudding cookies made with real butter, real bananas, and crunchy vanilla wafers. I'm like, I feel like there's just 1 cookie in there. It says into 4 individually wrapped. You know what? I wonder if these come in a pack of 4, and then we wound up with just 2. See, that's like a little copy thing that she should have changed that. Because now I feel like I should have gotten 4 and I only got 2. So I was excited that I got 2, but then I read that and I feel like I should have gotten 4. So she was splitting up the set. Ugh. All right. That's where you gotta make those changes. All right, so the next thing, we did get another bonus item though, touch number 1, which again would be in the mini when it still existed, full and premium boxes. This is often one of our touch items, which is just a sheet mask. It's, you know, it's a full-size product. A sheet mask is always nice. Seaweed, I don't know that that necessarily goes with the book. I do get the banana thing because they have like tostones, which is kind of like plantain, or it is plantains, but the mofongo and the tostones, I believe the plantains are what inspired the banana pudding cookies. The seaweed, I'm not so sure, just probably because it's Puerto Rico and they're by the ocean, but I don't remember anything seaweed particular. And then as a bonus, we also got this Face Story Moisturized Scalp and Hair Mask. And I kind of feel like the image on there goes with the image of the book, right? The like flowers and the hair, the artwork. Yeah, so that's cool. So it says that this was a touch number 1, but also a bonus item. Then touch number 2, and again, touch number 2 is going to be in both your full and your premium boxes, is in this little bag. So usually we get our drink mix in a little bag like this. I just have to find my little opener so I can open it neatly, hopefully. All right, so this is what we got for touch number 2. This is created by, oh, you know what? This is another in-house thing. I'm not always a huge fan of a lot of in-house things, but you know, they're making candles, they're making bath and body products. So this was created for the book, which is kind of cool. All right, let's see. It's called Puerto Rican Breeze. It says scent notes of grapefruit, lavender, and tonka bean. Okay, that sounds nice. So this says, feel like you're sitting, they use the wrong your. I expect more. I expect more. They use the wrong your. Okay, it says, feel like you're sitting on the shore with this in-house linen spray made with odor eliminating base and the fragrance of sweet oak moss and salty breeze. So that is not what this says. This says oak moss and salty breeze, and then this says grapefruit, lavender, and tonka bean. Let's see what we actually think it smells like, you guys. All right, that smells like, I feel like I'm getting more grapefruit and lavender. I am not getting tonka bean. It kind of smells like a nice cologne, honestly. So I feel like Puerto Rican Breeze maybe is fair, kind of like oceany, fresh vibes. But I don't feel like either of them is like the right description. Salty breeze, yes. Oak moss, not so much. Grapefruit, lavender, more grapefruit, yes. But tonka bean, no. So I feel like sometimes between the writing of this, like the draft of the booklet, and the actual creation of the items, apparently, and then the box, there's some things happen. So I feel like, I know they're trying to get these boxes out the door, but things need to sync up a little bit better. So it is an Authentic Books original. So I wonder what happened in that game of telephone, if they created that first. I'm guessing they created the booklet first and then made the item and then just didn't sync the two up. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Where do you think that like disconnect is happening? I feel like sometimes because we've often had like copy from the last or a previous curation, a previous month. I think, you know, a lot of the times it's like placeholders and then it doesn't get that final edit. But it's the editor and me, you guys. Like, I'm a stickler for stuff like that. All right, so touch number 3. Now, I usually think, and you guys know I'm also a stickler for this sort of thing, when you're getting the premium box or the highest ticket box, I always think that the extra items should be sort of hero items. So in my mind, touch number 3 that only premium members are getting should be like the highest valued item. And in this case, I found that it was like, I mean, the sheet mask, but we did get a bonus item, was like, it was kind of on par with that because it is from a company called Lady Jane. We got a set of 3 nail files or emery boards. They are beautiful. They totally go with the like floral vibe. But to me, that's like a very like low value item. So I almost feel like the linen spray, even though it was made in-house, might have been like a better touch number 3. It says, with a penchant for color and style, discover all the fabulous giftables Lady Jane has to offer because life's more fun when you indulge yourself in others. And see, even that feels like copy that was just cut and pasted from the Lady Jane site versus like being about these, you know, these floral emery boards. So this is a place where I feel like they don't necessarily need to have page numbers, but if it just said like, you know, inspired by the amazing graffiti, you know, in the streets of Old San Juan, these emery boards will like, I don't know. Well, so the reason there is because Isabella is actually a nail artist, a nail technician. That's one of the ways that she uses her artistic ability to make a living. So very direct connection, but I feel like that would have been a really great way of just incorporating that into the writing in the booklet. Be like, you know, Isabella may have used beautiful nail files like this to create her nail creations. I don't know. That was terrible copy, but I just feel like that's a way for us to see the connection and the inspiration for the curations that go along with these books, because that thought is there. Natisha definitely puts that thought and effort into the curations. I just feel like sometimes we need that link spelled out a little bit more obviously for us. I mean, I do for sure. So you guys, I feel like there's always room for improvement with a box. I appreciate those of you who are being patient with Authentic Books, because I really do believe in what they do, and I do really believe that they will get caught up. So I, on behalf of Natisha, am saying thank you for being patient with our book club and also her getting her curations out. I don't want this to discourage you from considering subscribing, because I do think it is a unique book subscription and she does a great job with the curations. Hopefully once they do get caught up, they can be a little bit more detail oriented. But you guys, let me know what you thought about this book. If you read it, let me know what you thought about the curation. Overall, curation great, just a little bit behind and could be a little bit more tied together with the actual items. But overall, I still love this subscription. I'll see you all soon in my next unboxing.